12 points out of 15 in the last few league matches. Let me be really awkward now and offer you either 3 points this weekend on that long distance or going out of the cup. One or the other. If you had the choice, you had to make one or the other, what would it be?
Can't make that decision. The most important game's our next game. The Eastbourne game, we went down there and we were successful last season. A very solid performance, and I'm looking for more of that. It'll be a different encounter, but likewise it's a game that we can certainly be bold in. It's always a windy affair down there, isn't it? So we're going to have to manage the conditions. But they've just suffered a loss up at Gateshead. So yeah, they'll be smarting from that, and they'll want to bounce back. So it's going to be a good game, and I've got a lot of respect for their manager. And certainly it's a game that we want to go down there and be successful in. After that, the build-up will, I'm sure, take place. But we'll treat it like any other game. We want to win every game for this football club, and whether we're playing against 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, how many you like.
Now you've got these two games, one away, one at home, before it gets to the FA Cup. I'm sure you and the players and the coaches will discuss the game against Rotherham coming up. But will the next message be, now put that aside?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Let's focus on the next game, wherever that may be. And as I say, I feel that we've taken on board certain aspects of the game, and I feel that there's players out there playing for their place, and ultimately I can't ask any more of them. We've had to patch a side up in the last 5 or 6 weeks, and we've been successful, so I'm delighted with that. Again, likewise at the weekend, I was down to bare bones. I only had one spare player, so all in all, I think we're doing very, very well.
What is the position now? Luke Jones not far off being ready. Who else is out there?
Well, we're hoping, obviously, Tim Sanderson won't be far away, but Luke Jones will train this week, and we'll see how evaluate his fitness levels. But Darryl Clare, he's been ill. Carl Nix has been ill. Jason Bradley and Grant Ryan are certainly may have to have them operations soon, which is not good, because they're good young players and they've done very well for their respective loan clubs. So that's a sad equation to have to put in front of any young player. And we hope that if we can do so without going under the knife, then it's important. But we'll treat them correctly and give them their rehabilitation, whatever the aspects are.
And finally, the youth players. I know you keep track, and there's constant meetings about that. What's the situation there? Are there any coming through close or close enough?
We feel that we're doing very well in that. Obviously, young Langford has scored a large amount of goals, and we feel his development, we're keeping an eye on that. But likewise, young Persico is doing very well, JV is doing very well, Niall in midfield, and there are others are playing cameo roles in that. So we're very strong. And whilst we're on here, let's think about it, is that Mike Whitlow deserves a big pat on the back, and so do all of his staff at the development area. Is that we brought Mike in, I brought Mike in for a reason, and his standards are impeccable, and his enthusiasm for the game, and it's rubbing off onto the young boys. And one thing I know is that he won't allow them to drop their standards, which we implement. And I think Mike, at this precise moment, has worked tirelessly. You have to get him out of the club, let alone bring him into the club. I think he'd rather have a bed here. He certainly is one of the a credit to himself and to the football club, and he's developed that youth team endlessly and tirelessly, and he's doing a great job.
Now, finally, this weekend, the match down there. What's the preparation for that? Different? Will you go on Friday?
Yes, that's if it was down to me, I'd go every Friday night away, because I feel that you get the players focused and together. But that's money, that costs you. The Eastbourne trip is a long trip, and obviously it's one we looked at and we budgeted for beforehand. We wasn't able to go up to obviously Barrow in the afternoon, because it cost you extra amount of money, and obviously they're funds we haven't got. And if we can do it at Barrow, I would love to do that for the afternoon to give the boys a rest. But if it's down to money, we can't do that. But this weekend, I'm grateful that we've got the opportunity to go the night before. We'll go down and hopefully get the rest that we need and prepare properly.
Well, I've got to ask you, what time do you put them to bed?
They won't be allowed to leave the hotel that we're staying in. It's in Eastbourne, so we haven't got too far to travel the next day. But no, the boys know me. If they stepped out of line, I think they'd be on the receiving end of a few quid.
Paul Heckingbottom said, yeah, he won't step out of line, he said, but he might go for a dip in the sea. What would your attitude to that be?
It might sort out his varicose veins, I reckon.